Now, I'll tell you a little bit about this Scotty Hottie that I used to date. He was a great man. Great man. I don't know what was wrong with him. I don't think he was half on that Tom board, but he started growing a little bit batty. He started taking away my rights and liberties as a human being. He was telling me I couldn't work on the computer. I couldn't work on the internet. I couldn't be on the phone. Tom was telling him to treat me that way. And when I asked Tom to help, and I didn't know that Tom was telling him this and that, I found out Scott wasn't lying, and he was actually buying it. Tom was as awesome as Hitler when it came to talking somebody into shit. That man was a narcissist. I bet you'd find a few of Hitler's shit in English for his speeches. You should listen to that crap, because that guy was bitching them, and they didn't realize it. And then he sold a bunch of food, which was actually human. They were jackasses. They were evil. They were fuckers. And then they'd kill the kids on screen and say it was okay. It was wrong. Anyway, they had videos that I grew up watching. Connie would make certain I didn't have like a Hitler creature. She knew I had the power. From time to time, I helped take down evil witches on a Tai Chi level using matrix energy to talk them down. I'll put their weapons away, attack them hard, and then I'll go ahead and wrap their power. Set them down and let them talk it out to themselves, and then tell them, sleep it off, turn yourself in, and be a nice little girl or boy this hour. We don't do this shit. We don't do it at all. It's wrong. It's wrong. This very hour. Knock it off. Walk it off. Talk it off. And stop cursing. It's just wrong. But they don't always stabilize. Sometimes the next day, I just have to turn their curses straight back at them and tell them knock their shit off, or they're going to go down by their own power. It's just wrong what people do sometimes. When they curse other people, they're evil. Sometimes they just don't understand that warlock means traitor and treasonous person towards each other and his fellow man, and the universe and his clan. But you know what? People are convinced that it means male witch these days, because that's what the Christians thought it meant. No, they didn't understand. It meant traitor and treasonous bitch of the hour. And witch means person of knowledge. Wicca is somebody who utilizes metaphysics, physics, and herbalism. It utilizes science and medicine. Yes, they say the prayers using the hexagon and the pentagram, and sometimes a trigram. That one doesn't work as good, but it does. There's all kinds of ways to do it, but you have to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll use it wrong. Just because somebody says they're using it for good doesn't mean they are. Maybe they misunderstood what good and bad was, because sometimes you're misled, and you can be led down the wrong path just as easy as that, because everybody's a child, even when they're older and adults. A 60-year-old man can still be very young in the head, because they're still reading books that are fairy tales. Saying Harry Potter is the best. Harry Potter's not a bad book, but if you're going down Voldemort's road, you're an idiot. Have a good day. Oh, and if you're taking over people's profiles and accounts, that is internet treason. That's internet terrorism. You will be held accountable for that. I don't care if you think the person's wrong or right. If they're not committing a felony, leave them alone. They have the right to say whatever they want, even if you don't like it. It's their inalienable right. We have the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion in the United States. Stay off my damn profile, or I'm gonna fucking see you.